KWT slaying.
What if the truth was never lost, only buried? For centuries, historians, scholars, and even colonial records have confirmed what many tried to silence. The original Israelites were a black people scattered across continents but never erased. Their skin was dark, their customs ancient, and their covenant with Yah eternal. This journey uncovers how the Spanish and Portuguese Jews, described as dark-skinned, Semitic, shared one bloodline. Chased by the Inquisition, many fled to Portugal, then beyond, preserving their heritage across borders. But the story doesn't end in Iberia. Across from West Africa, black Jews built synagogues, kept Torah, and passed down the laws of Moses. The Limba in southern Africa, the Igbo in Nigeria, the Beta Israel in Ethiopia, tribes across the continent boldly declared, "We are the children of Israel." These aren't isolated claims. These are voices rising from the dust, connected by oral histories, Torah traditions, and the unbroken rhythm of their identity. No such legacy exists among European Jews. No centuries of tribal witness, no matching traditions, no trace of ancient covenant keeping. Maps, art, and archaeology tell the same story. The Israelites were scattered, enslaved, and displaced, but never lost. The world always knew who they were. Their presence was visible, their customs alive, their story intact. This book doesn't speculate. It confirms the Israelites were black, bound by blood, culture, and covenant to the Most High. This is not just history, it's restoration. The truth was never destroyed, only buried beneath centuries of deception. Get your copy of They Always Knew We Were Israelites today, available now on Amazon.com.
Salama family, Salama, how y'all doing today? Hope you're blessed and highly favored. Today, Minister Tayu with us. Mr. Tayu, say hi.
Shabbat Shalom, family. How y'all doing?
So we're going to talk about what we see happening, and we're going to read from an article that my brother wrote that is going to be posted later, but we're going to do it here first. And we're going to talk about a few things that we think is happening. And also we're going to, after we do this, is drop the link. So if y'all going to want to come on, the link will be there. But make sure if you do come on, you don't get all crazy and extreme, because we don't want to be shut down. Because they're going after everybody. If they went after Jimmy Kimmel, they're going to
that cancel culture getting crazy, right?
But the Democrats started all that.
Oh,
there
I
you
know.
go, Doug. You should know us by now, Doug.
We're AI.
Anyway. Even before there was AI, there was Yakova into you. All right, so let's get started.
This is Job. Why am I depicted as a white man when I clearly stated in the scriptures that my skin is black upon me? All right, Job, they did me the same way, man. I literally said in the scriptures that I am black and comely. which in their time means black and beautiful. You think that's bad, King Solomon? Well, they claim I'm white, even though I was mistaken as an Egyptian in the scriptures. Oh yeah, that's right. They think the Egyptians are white or Arabs. You too, huh? My own brother's mistaken me as an Egyptian, Paul, which literally proves that myself and my brothers are black men. I was literally made from the dirt by God himself, and somehow I came out white? Huh?
Like, Dominicans are black. That's what.
Hello, this is Joe.
So what do you think of that, Mr. T?
We are. But even in my own family.
Something's still playing, huh?
Hold on one sec. I'm trying to, I don't know where that was coming from.
Sometimes those things keep playing in the background.
Yeah, hold on.
We are the original Jamaicans.
All this foolishness be popping up. All right, so yeah, go ahead, Mr. T.
Oh yeah, I mean it says it all right there. You know, AI can get the point out sometimes. Our book been telling everyone who we are. It's just evidence that our identity was hijacked, right?
So, you know, the other thing is, I think we have to realize that being the people, you know, with the profile and attributes that the Bible says about us in those Deuteronomy 28 curses, we shouldn't be shocked of what is happening and what was supposed to happen, because what in the very beginning, the Most High say we are counted as sheep for the slaughter, right? And that's them curses, they're heavy. And so we're in those times right before deliverance and right at the time where the birth pains increase.
Well, that's why I like sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that's why I like that show you did, the Parallel Sufferings, which I shared. And you know, it shows that what they've done to our Messiah, they've done to us. And I think they ought to be concerned, because the Most High coming back and he's gonna deal with all that. But what they did to him, they are doing to us. They have no remorse, and it looks like they're trying to bring some of that back to us. I'm telling you, it's looking kind of funny right now, which is what we're going to get into.
All right.
To flee the country. But then I'm like, but if I flee the country, where am I going to go? Because fascism is on the rise in Europe too. And then I'm like, my ancestors survived here and they made it work. But then I'm like, but the ancestors wanted better for me and they didn't have a choice but to stay, but I might have resources to leave. And then I'm thinking to myself, well, maybe they will want me to leave. And then I'm like, do I have the money to leave? And I'm like, I certainly don't have the energy to fight. Oh my God, I can't fight nothing. I'm not built for that. But then I'm like, maybe I can just go to Canada because it's right there. And then I'm like, is that too close? That might be too close. And you see the far right rising in France and Germany and Italy. And then you start to really think to yourself, is there really a way to escape the tendrils of American imperialism? And maybe it's actually safer to be here than it is to leave. Because I don't want to be on the receiving end of the nukes, right? But I also don't want to be in the country that's shooting them. And then, of course, you start thinking, but if I do leave, do they like black people? You know what I mean? So I'm really confused. Do I need?
What do you think of that, Mr. T?
Well, I mean, he made me laugh actually, but fleeing to a European country doesn't make sense when you see what's happening in France, what you're seeing happening in the UK. They're having racial tensions as well, what they call immigration issues, right? They complain over immigration. Translation, racial conflict, right? And they are expressing themselves the same way American government, the American government is, which is white supremacy, right? They're expressing themselves as, this is our last chance to save our people. This is the last chance to save our race. And it's all in black folks' fault. Translation, right? Even though they started off with the Mexicans and all of this, the second something happened to your boy in Utah, they threatened HBCU, and we like, we didn't do this, and you know it was one of your own. But it's in their blood to threaten us. They can't help themselves. So I think the wise thing to do is to flee. Now the thing is, everyone's worried. Everyone's worried about timing, or I don't have resources, right? But like when the hurricane is coming, and it's a Cat 5, you gonna say I don't have the resources to flee. No, you're gonna get your butt out of there, right? Right? You could be strapped up in the bed with an oxygen mask, but you're not gonna wait for that hurricane to come, right? So I mean, I'm not saying it's easy to flee. I'm saying we're going in a direction where it's going to be obvious, right? And Jacoba been telling y'all that for 10 years now and getting a lot of flack for it when all he's doing is teaching scripture. But now y'all can see the energy coming at us, and we're like, we've been doing what we always do. We go to work, we come home, we eat, we go to and we entertain ourselves with movies, we go to a nightclub, we do this and that. And for some reason, we on them people's mind, right? We live rent free in their mind, right?
So the thing is, that's always the question, right? Everybody's talking about it now, right? Do we flee? Can Jacoba laugh for a bit, y'all? No, let me stop. But really, that's the question everybody's asking. Should I leave, right? And even those who are Israelites by blood, who have not awakened to being Israelites, are considering leaving, and some have left. Why? Because they're starting to see it. You know, not just too long ago, like really 30, 40 minutes ago, my brother and I was talking to his wife and stuff. And, you know, we were talking about it, and, you know, looked like she on our side for a change. What you think of that, Mr. T?
Look, if you know my wife, normally she's in the matrix and nobody pulling her out. But I think Trump and them and this all of this stuff with Charlie done woke her up. And I'm like, okay, you got a little fire in you, you know. She's starting to wake up, but I think everyone's starting to wake up because it's becoming a little obvious now with the things they're doing. Like, well, we'll get into it when Jacoba reads the article, but I think everyone's about woke now. Even our detractors, even those who betrayed us and stabbed us in the back, realized we were telling the truth.
Even my mama woke.
My mama woke. Come on now.
All right, let's continue.
You hear the man who came up to my car? Did you hear what he said to me? Were you paying attention?
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear?
No, he was talking about donations.
Okay. Did you hear him say that I needed to be careful because this could be a hostile situation or a hostile environment?
What is hostile?
It means it can be dangerous. Okay.
We didn't hear that.
Okay. So what he said was, he asked me what I was doing in the neighborhood and what I was doing in the area. And he told me, you know, I'm going to be honest with you. You need to be careful because this can be a hostile environment. Okay. What he meant by that is people might want to hurt me because I'm Black. Okay. And you and Jacob. Now, that doesn't mean that we can't go, because we will go and we will do things, right? What it does mean is you need to be careful and aware of your environment. You need to pay attention to who is looking at you too long, who is not being friendly, and pay attention to the feeling that some people give you. So if they give you a feeling that they don't like you, or if they're short with you and not being polite to you, that is a feeling you need to pay attention to and you need to move away from, okay? What that also means is you need to stay with a trusted adult when we're there. So either I will take you and we will do those things together, or Daddy will take you and you'll do those things with him. You need to always be inside of me or Daddy, okay? Always. So I just want to be clear and make sure that you understand. Do you have any questions?
Wait, I do. So if a white person said if there's a kid or a grown-up, you just be mean back to them?
No, if somebody is mean to you, then you come and tell me. Okay, you come and tell me or daddy. If somebody is mean to me, I can handle that on my own. Okay.
If somebody is mean to us, we gotta tell either you or daddy.
Yes, and you get away from them. You don't stick around. You don't let them touch you, and you don't let their words hurt you, because a lot of people are just a lot of talk and they say mean things because they don't like themselves. Okay. But either way, if you happen to find yourself alone with somebody and there's a problem, you need to get away from them immediately. But you should not be anywhere that me and daddy cannot see you. And you need to be aware that some people may not like you simply because you're black. It's not because you did anything. It's not because you said anything. It's not because you're not as cute as a button. It's just that they were taught to hate and they still believe that. And so you need to be careful. You cannot be nice to everybody. You cannot leave with everybody. You cannot believe what everybody says. And when we're out in those situations, you need to stay close to me or daddy.
So one thing I want to say is that don't let people gaslight you or make you think you're a racist because you don't want to be around them. You can't trust them. And I always go back to the Muhammad Ali, right? If there's 10,000 and there's 1,000 that likes me, want the best for me, right? 10,000 snakes, that is, and 1,000 that snakes that would fight for me and defend me. Well, I can't tell the difference between the 9,000 that want to kill me and the 1,000 that want to protect me. So it's best for me to stay away, right? And so it's sort of like that article, well, really news, it was several years ago, where this black woman went to a sleepover by her white friend's house, and she ended up dead, right? And nobody ever got arrested for that. Apparently some white guy did it, but they all were on code, right? So I'm gonna tell y'all, these sleepovers, these travels, these going places, y'all be ignorant if you want and try to trust people because they say they're Christians. Now you know what a Christian is. It ain't a born again person, right? It's not a redeemed person. It's not a person showing the fruits of the spirit. Christianity is white supremacy, right? And so I had posted this, if y'all could see it.
Well, I just
This
wanted
is
to
it.
add before you do that.
Okay.
I just wanted to say it's not about skin color. I know I'm hearing that a lot. And that's the narrative that they give us, right? And from my spiritual discernment told me a long time ago, it's an ancestral demon spirit that's in their bloodline, in their family. The ones that have this unnatural hatred for us when we don't know them, haven't even talked to them, never seen them before in our life, but they hate us for breathing, right? That's a demonic spirit that's attached to their bloodline. So they don't have to know us. They already made up their mind about us. So when people say it's about skin color, them Indians in India are darker than us, but they don't have the hatred for them, right? But those of Negro descent, they have a hatred for us, right? So you can tell this, it has nothing to do with skin color. It has everything to do with who you are.
Yeah, that's for real. So I shared this, and y'all can go over to the post on the channel. And there's these apps, and I suggest you look at them. One is Parachute. Now, they say iPhone and Android, but I've only seen the app for the iPhone. And basically, you could put these apps on your phone to automatically stream, right? So, like, basically with Parachute, you put it on there, you hit a button, and it starts recording video and audio your encounter, right? And so then it'll upload it to a remote server. Now, you got Parachute, you got the ACLU Mobile Justice, and what's the other one? Right here. ICT, is that it? No, let's see. Well, anyway, you got those two. I guess there's another one in there. Y'all can read it. But anyway, I put that out there so that you can put it on your phone. Your family can put it on their phone so that, if something happens, they can click that button right away, because a lot of our people that are hanging from trees, they're saying it's suicide, and we know that's not true. right? So, and I believe, and I think many others believe, that it's the popo, right? Doing that. So in order to protect you and your family based upon the times that we're in, I would suggest you put this app on your phone. And for your family, I think it's like $14 or something like that, which isn't bad, right? So just wanted to give y'all a heads up on that.
Especially for those traveling state to state, truck drivers, right? People like that.
Yeah. And even in your local area, right? You might end up in, like in New Orleans, you got these small little parishes, right? You got Chalmette and all these things, right? Every now and then you might end up having to go that way, and you don't know what's going to happen, right? And like I say, I believe the reason why there's no evidence is because it's authority that's doing it. So I recommend you put it on your phone and on your family phone, especially if you travel a lot. Right. So, all right.
Ain't scared. Don't be scared. We're not gonna let this fly, right? The Jim Crow laws are being reinstated. Are we gonna y'all finna let they really sitting up in that courtroom? Let me do some digging. I had to look this up officially because you gotta be joking right now, right? They are not joking.
A court has decided to uphold a racist law, a racist voting dynamic in Mississippi. And they admit it is racist, but they're still going to uphold it anyway.
And their bull feces reason is that they're worried about the crime rate. Let me explain this to y'all. They basically will not have no say-so of who votes for the judges. The white chief of justice would appoint its own judges, prosecutors, public defenders, police officers running a new district. I see the state of conscience.
All right. So, Minister Terry, what's your thoughts on that? Because we talked about that in the past of what was happening.
Yeah, about the Mississippi.
Hold on. Let me remove that. All right, go ahead.
That was Jackson, right? Was it Jackson?
Who's that?
Mississippi, as far as
yeah, that was Mississippi.
Yeah, and they were gonna remove people's right to vote for their judicial judges because too many black folks live in Jackson, so they want the white people to appoint their judges for them to keep the judicial leadership non-black. So, yeah, I mean, this is part of. You can see the plan coming to fruition even more so. This was, I think, during Biden's time when this was being talked about, but now all the things we're seeing happen today, you can see this is a plan that transcends or goes beyond local counties. This is a nationwide effort that has started after the awakening. Jacob and I told you guys 10 years ago this stuff was going to happen, and that it was the awakening that was driving it, and everything they're doing is about you, right? And then when you understand the scriptures talk about few people making it into the kingdom, it's because a lot of people got religion and don't have the Messiah, because the Messiah set it up to where they need to be taught by Yah's children, right? The scriptures show that Israel's going to be made the head, and the nations know this. We don't know this. We didn't know this, and this is why the hostility, because now they know the Most High is moving, and we're going to be the head. And they like, I'd be damned if I let a Negro rule over me. That's their mindset. I've seen them say, I'm not going to worship Jesus if he black. And I'm like, if you can't worship Jesus if he black, then you never knew him.
Obviously they didn't, because it was white supremacy. That's the bottom line. It took me a long time to figure it out, but I get it. So, we got to understand that this is a government agenda, right? And governments around the world, to be honest with you, against us. Didn't I tell y'all a long time ago that it's us? I told you don't worry about the immigrants because it's all about us. I told y'all that, right? So let's look at this right quick. So in honor of Charlie Kirk, President Trump is ordering all American flags to be lowered at half-mast, right? Now you can see here it says, in honor of Charlie Kirk, Captain James T. Kirk of the Starship Enterprise, a truly great American patriot, I'm ordering all American flags throughout the United States lowered at half mast until Sunday evening. Now, the question is, why is he doing this? Right? I mean, what is it about him that makes him a great patriot, right? Because what he did, he stood for what? Racism, white supremacy. Right. So, we're going to talk about that in Minister Tayu's article, and we're going to see what it all means. But let's continue.
Yeah, but not only that, if you notice the tactics that they're using, right, shaming you, threatening your job, these are techniques used by Revelation 2939. This is what they do to you when you try to tell the truth about them, right? And they're using that same playbook. Right. So who's really behind it? You got to wonder.
Yeah, exactly. And even like with this right here about the 3 Ethiopians who were deleted, right? And let's add to all the other stuff that's happening that's you're not hearing about. There's an agenda afoot, right? And a lot of people gonna gaslight you. But let's look at this.
Welcome back to the Time Now 710. The U.S. Senate passing a resolution designating October 14th, 2025 as a National Day of Remembrance to assassinated activist Charlie Kirk. This is a visual, and an outpouring of support continues. People gathering in several cities to honor Kirk, who was shot and killed more than a week ago during an event in Utah.
I like this right here, what Timepiece said. Weaponized mourning. That's exactly what it is. Using debt to shut down criticism turns mourning into propaganda. 100.
Well said.
So, we got to understand all of this is part of a psychological operation now. So you have the lowering of the mask, half mask, right? And now, you have this whole day, October 14th, right? to honor this dude. I'm like, he's no Martin Luther. He's no Malcolm X. He's no civil rights leader. I'm like, he's a white supremacist. I mean, they might as well put David Duke up. I'm just saying. I think David Duke did more for white supremacy and American values than this dude.
I don't see any difference between the two.
No. I mean, because, even David Duke, he was sort of spouting some of the same things, right? So anyway, let's continue.
I'm sorry. If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified.
Well, that's the
you wouldn't have done that. You wouldn't have. You wouldn't have done that before. That's not an immediate. No, you wouldn't have done that before. That's not who I am. That's not what I believe.
It is the reality the left has created.
Because of DEI, it begs the question: when you see a black pilot, you wonder. You say, "I hope they are qualified." I wouldn't think that if the CEO of United or these airlines would reject DEI and say excellence is the ultimate standard. Is if I'm dealing with somebody in customer service who's a moronic black woman, I wonder, is she there because of her excellence, or is she there because of affirmative action? It almost creates thought patterns that are not necessarily wholesome. It creates resentment, doesn't it, Heather? No one really cares when it's HR managers. No one cared when it was, just kind of paper shufflers or even engineers. But now when it's like, wait, hold on a second. You're going to remove my appendix and you're a black lesbian.
Charlie Kirk has no problem putting his true beliefs about anyone who isn't a white, rabid conservative like him on full display.
So it hurts my heart because doing what I love has been kind of taken away from me to please other people. Yeah, that's the point, Simone Biles. You're representing your nation, you're selfish sociopath. You kidding me? We are raising a generation of weak people like Simone Biles. Again, if she got all these mental health problems, don't show up. She's an incredible athlete. Of course she's an incredible athlete. I just said she's probably the greatest gymnast of all time. She's also very selfish. She's immature, and she is a shame to the country. She's totally a sociopath. Of course she's a sociopath. Andrew said she's not a sociopath. What kind of person skips the gold medal match? Who does that? It's a shame to the nation. LeBron James is a self-interested, narcissistic,
And we know he's not very smart. He does these press conferences where he thinks he's making sense spiritually and freedom of speech. But he's a product of his time. What would you expect from LeBron James? It's cool to insult America. It's cool to sell yourself out to China. Not very bright, not wise, not somebody of good character, but as a blowhard. He'll never have to apologize. He'll never have to admit failure. And of course, everyone knows that LeBron James chronically cheats on his wife. Obviously, he's an NBA player. Savannah James should be asked about that. Hey, how do you feel about your husband like cheating on you all the time? But that's just how the NBA works. So the whole thing is an open marriage. He's immoral.
So I'm gonna pause right there. Family, please be nice in the chat. I don't want to get hit. Okay, please be nice. So Windwalker, pull that down if you don't mind, please.
In almost everything he does. He shouldn't be lifted up, but I don't think most Americans do. He would obviously stand for the China national anthem, and he can't even show a modicum of respect for the country that has given him everything.
Including generational black athletes like Simone Biles and the right wing's favorite target, LeBron James, spreading baseless lies and playing into the bigot stereotypes that his base responds to.
Thomas Sowell and Justice Clarence Thomas are far better black role models to celebrate than Martin Luther King, period. End of story.
While also having the gall to tell the black community which role models they should look up to while smearing the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Holy Day, Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And we said some things today, and we challenged some of the primary doctrine that is running modernity. If you disagree with our take on MLK, just listen to this episode. Give it a fair hearing. Just say, hey, maybe I don't agree with Charlie. Maybe I think he's the best person to live in the 20th century and that he's worthy of worship, which is effectively what this society demands. Then fine, just listen to the episode and maybe you'll learn something.
We talk about the positives. And then we also get into some of the other implications of this. We're a truth-seeking show. But I can say declaratively, this guy is not worthy of a national holiday. He is not worthy of godlike status. In fact, I think it's really harmful.
The gross take even got some pushback and criticism from black conservatives like Pastor Darnell Scott, Armstrong Williams, and the Blaze's Delano Squires. And reading tweets like this about newly hired New England Patriots coach Gerard Mayo, where Kirk twists Mayo's words about race to claim that Mayo will discriminate against white players. It's no surprise that he chopped it up with the one and only Jason Whitlock to defend and double down on his bigotry, as usual for Jason Whitlock's terrible show.
The response was disappointing because some people, instead of dealing with the substance and or my very public track record of hating bigotry and racism and also associating with people of all sorts of different backgrounds, they started to call me racist. And I'm not saying it's because of this, but Black America was getting richer. They were getting stronger, and families were largely still put together before the Great Society, Voting Rights Act, and Civil Rights Act. 60 years later, Black America is in a worse position. I'm not saying it's because of the Civil Rights Act. I'm not saying it's because of the Voting Rights Act, but somewhere something went awry. Kind of going off your speech, I could have done the old conservative thing. I could have.
So it's not the Civil Rights Act and all these things, right? Something went awry, but yet he makes the comparison to the Civil Rights Act, right? Make it make sense, right? I mean, and let's look at it for Simone Biles and LeBron, right? People at the top of their profession, right? Athletes, right? Tearing them down, making them less than what they were. Oh, well, LeBron, he cheats on his wife. I'm like, I guarantee you cheat on yours, let alone from stuff I hear, which I'm not going to repeat. It makes me wonder, right? So I ain't going to go there. But you want to say anything with the table before I continue? Yeah, so let's be clear. I asked ChatGPT about this diversity and inclusion with the airlines. Many airlines have outreach, mentorship, scholarships, and career pipeline programs aimed at increasing the number of women and people of color in aviation, right? So the goal is to get you interested in being a pilot, right? It doesn't have diversity preferences in regards to hiring practices. So airlines generally maintain strict qualification requirements for pilots, minimum hours of flight experience, certifications, etc.
And DEI efforts do not typically override or lower those basic safety skill standards, right? So he lies on us, trying to imply that somehow there's a program that hires people who don't have the qualifications, and therefore you should be concerned if you have a black pilot because he may not have been well trained. And it doesn't work that way, right? You can't be a football player without having professional high-end training to be a football player. You can't be a brain surgeon unless you have the proper training, like Ben Carson. I wouldn't be surprised that this guy would say that Ben Carson was a DEI hire, which would be a lie, right? But one of the best brain surgeons out there who's a black man, right? But this is how he spins the narrative, and all of a sudden we're raising this guy up as an idol or a hero for America that our children should follow. Come on now.
And I'm gonna say this: if you support this guy and his talking points, I'm gonna look at you sideways, right? Because you got to understand, right? You're going against your own people. He's tearing down anybody who has achieved anything who's black, right? You notice he's always trying. Well, I'm trying to help out the black folks because before civil rights and stuff, the family was stronger and together. And I'm not saying it was because of civil rights. Yes, you are, right?
And what does he mean when he say our women don't have the cognitive ability, not smart enough for certain jobs and positions? If that's not a straight up racist statement, I mean, what is?
And if there's a pilot and he's black, I'm gonna wonder, is he a DEI hire? Why is he here? Like, he didn't go through all the training that everybody else went through.
That was a fake talking point, right? Because it doesn't even, it's not even true. It's not even possible, right? You can't be a brain surgeon and be a DEI hire, right? You either qualified or you're not. Same thing with being a pilot, a car racer, whatever.
So the thing is this, right? If you are Christian and you black and you support this guy, I'm looking at you sideways. If you're an Israelite and support this guy, I'm looking at you sideways. Some of y'all be full of crap. I ain't gonna lie.
Look,
sideways,
it's like, man, I'm telling you, stay the F away from me. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to be a little PC there. But the deal is this: you going against your own people. Right? Some of y'all be trying to run that conservative line. Conservatism is not biblical love and compassion. It's not even the biblical laws. It's not how we're supposed to approach things, right? Conservatism, and especially white conservatism, right? They try to have this moral high ground and stuff like that. When they tell you, oh, well, we're here because of abortion. We want to get rid of abortion because it affects black communities more and blah, blah, blah. No, they're worried about the reduction of their population. They don't care about ours, because if they cared about ours, they wouldn't let them pew our kids in the streets. They would have some laws to protect us and enforce them. But here's the deal. It's always about us in the awakening. We told you that, right? It's once the awakening happened, Satan woke up and said, I don't have a lot of time, like the scripture says in Revelation 12. But let's continue.
Hid in the corner, said, you know what? I'm so sorry. How dare I? Because I saw the chatter increasing. I saw the right-wing intelligentsia saying, no, Charlie, it's a career ender. You don't do this. You just say MLK was awesome, and you don't ask questions, and you just kind of walk away. I said, you know what? I'm not going to do that anymore. I think that kind of attitude is destructive and wrong. And we felt the pressure that day. We were getting text messages of people saying, Charlie, this is going to end your career. Charlie, you'll never be back in decent circles. And I said, you know what? Honestly,
and Jason Whitlock and all of the black conservatives, I'm going to say this: y'all full of crap. Y'all full of crap, because your conservatism is based upon white Christianity conservatism, right? Yeah, some of the stuff that they are against, we might also be against, but at the same time, y'all don't balance it with love. Y'all don't balance it with compassion. Y'all like the Pharisees, right? Y'all don't know how to interpret the scriptures and live it out, right? And so, anyway, let's continue.
I don't subscribe that. I'm going to trust the Lord. I know what we're saying is true. I was disappointed because I said, listen, guys, you could hate what I'm doing. You could criticize it. But if you're just going to throw the R word around like a Frisbee, because I dare to question somebody who I consider to be a false idol of the modern cult of anti-racism.
Whitlock nodding along with approval is all the proof you need to know that Kirk is hitting all of the right-wing talking points. Characterizing his racist opinions of MLK as valid criticism allows Kirk to use free speech as a crutch to shield him from criticism of what he and Whitlock are trying to do here, whitewashing
But they lower the flag because of him, give him his own day, right? Because he's a patriot, right? Which is standing for the Constitution. But at the same time, these the same people getting rid of the First Amendment. They're getting rid of the First Amendment. And Jimmy Kimmel can't say what he said, and what he said wasn't even bad. He lost his job. I'm just saying, these raccoons, man, y'all worse than Mr. Kirk himself, because y'all look like us.
Oh yeah, I always say the raccoons are worse than the racists. I'm sorry. Look at Whitlock. Look at Candace.
Exactly.
And historical racially motivated crimes that our country was founded on, while demonizing anyone who wanted to correct the historical wrongs.
Thought, of course, is there's only one person in the 20th century that gets a federal holiday, and it's Martin Luther King. I can name at least a dozen people more deserving in the 20th century of a federal holiday than MLK. They're much.
But see the red herring here? I can name more people who's more deserving than Martin Luther King, right? That's the red herring, right? Why? Because he don't like the fact that it's a black man who have his own holiday.
That's what he just said. Problem. Yeah, why? Look, you got another person you want to give a holiday to? Go ahead. We'll take another day off, but you don't have to focus on trying to get rid of one that was for black folks. You know?
And why does he care whether or not we recognize anybody who's black in our community? Why does he care? Who is he to determine who's to be represented as one of our great leaders? I'm just saying, right?
Translation, we're not smart enough. We don't work hard enough. We don't deserve a holiday.
Let Master tell you what to do and who to follow.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing worse than black conservatives. I'm sorry. Ain't nothing worse than black conservatives.
Better figures such as Billy Graham in the 1960s, who had a lot more to do with the passage of the Civil Rights Act, who gets no credit than Martin Luther King. People forget Billy Graham.
So he shifted from a black man, which is Martin Luther King. Oh, we should have Billy Graham Day. But y'all gonna support this?
But look, let's not get it twisted. We're not liberals.
Yeah, we're not liberals.
We're traditional biblical value people. We just not alt-right nutcases.
Exactly. So he just told you the whole issue is that a white man don't have the day, and it's a black man who have a day. It should have been Billy Graham and not Martin Luther. But some of y'all gonna defend this guy for what?
Graham had White House Oval Office meetings. Billy Graham led the Crusades for a moral awakening. What I'm trying to counter is the reason we talk about race so much is because we have a federal holiday to a guy that talked about race all the time. We celebrate the Civil Rights Act more than the American founding.
Kirk,
a guy who talked about race all the time is Martin Luther during the Civil Rights era when we were being discriminated against, right? I'm like, really? All you black Christians out there, y'all that be crying and weeping, I'm like, something wrong with y'all. Y'all in the matrix. I'm sorry.
Rehashing this old played out argument is just another sad attempt to tell people to shut up about conversations about racism and race in America. Because to Kirk and other conservatives, racism can't exist if you don't talk about it.
The multi-decade incubator of DEI was housed in the Department of Justice post the Civil Rights Act. The attitude, the enforcement, the precision that the DEI bureaucrats operate with was all workshopped in the Department of Justice in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. And just now are we seeing it in corporate America, and we've seen this cancer metastasize. What started as a good intention to try to eradicate the injustices of saying that, only whites can eat at the restaurant has tragically metamorphosized into a beast that has even more hatred than some of the elements of the antebellum South.
You heard that right. Charlie Kirk thinks that the Civil Rights Act and its legacy have brought about more hate than the antebellum South. This is what real world white supremacy looks and sounds like. And as much as we'd like to ignore the Jason Whitlocks and the Charlie Kirks of the world, this rhetoric simply cannot go unchecked.
Let's call it what it is for Jason Whitlock and Candace. Stockholm Syndrome. Right? Stockholm Syndrome is where you start to worship and idolize and follow your captor, your abuser. And that's what they suffer from. And Candace has it worse than anyone I've ever seen.
And some people like to move along with the power structure, right? So that they could get the benefits from selling out their own people or raccooning themselves. You know what I'm saying? So they know that's
some
where
of
the
them
money
are
and influence is.
opportunists.
Yeah, opportunists. So now we're going to get into the article that Minister Tellur wrote, and we'll be posting that at tellministries.com after the show. Is that okay, Mr. Tellur, or should it be larger?
Well, do you need the left navigation pane?
I don't know how to turn that off.
Okay, then just go with
Let's
it.
see. Did that. Okay, I did that. All right. Okay, warning, a government-backed anti-Black agenda is taking shape. My people, we need to recognize what is happening around us. A dangerous agenda is moving forward, not quietly in the shadows, but in plain sight, with the full weight of government support behind it. Charlie Kirk, a man who spent his public career tearing down DEI programs, mocking Black women, and dismissing the teaching of slavery as woke propaganda, is now being honored as if he were a national hero. In recent weeks, we've seen the president order flags lowered across the country in his memory, governors and local leaders rushing to comply, the House of Representatives passing a resolution in his honor, and the Senate going even further by declaring October 14, 2025 his birthday, a national day of remembrance. But he got a problem with Martin Luther King. What makes this even more alarming is that this was not just Republicans acting alone. Democrats, the very party many Black people have reluctantly supported as a defensive measure, also stood with Republicans in honoring Kirk. This means the idolization of Kirk is not partisan theater. It is a bipartisan decision to sanctify a man whose record was openly hostile to Black America. Government-led elevation of Charlie Kirk. When the White House issued its proclamation on September 12, 2025, ordering flags at half-staff in Kirk's honor, it was a move usually reserved for presidents, high-ranking government officials, or figures recognized for serving the whole nation. Yet this honor was extended to a political commentator whose career was defined by division and racial hostility. Governors quickly followed suit, and even cities like West Hollywood, places known for progressive stances, lowered their flags under federal order. The House of Representatives then passed a resolution by a vote of 310 to 58, praising Kirk's life and condemning political violence. That margin makes it clear this was not only Republicans, many Democrats joined in. One day later, the Senate voted unanimously to establish October 14 as the National Day of Remembrance for Charlie Kirk. In that moment, both chambers of Congress across party lines transformed a man known for spreading racist rhetoric into a symbol of national patriotism. Why Charlie Clark? We must ask ourselves, why Charlie Kirk? We must ask ourselves why Kirk, of all people, has been elevated to this level. His record is not one of unity, justice, or truth. He opposed DEI programs that were designed to give Black people a fair chance in education and employment. He belittled HBCUs, ridiculed the memory of slavery, and mocked Black women as diversity hires who lacked ability. His voice was one of derision, not dignity, and yet the nation has chosen to celebrate him as if he stood for American greatness. The answer is disturbing but undeniable. Kirk has been lifted up because his worldview aligns with a political and cultural agenda that seeks to roll back Black progress. By sanctifying him through proclamations, resolutions, and national days, the government is declaring that opposing Black advancement is not just acceptable, but patriotic. The nefarious agenda. What we're seeing is not memorialization. It is preparation. Elevating Kirk provides the state with a moral shield, a patriotic excuse for what comes next. When the government honors a man who demeaned our people, it signals that his worldview has been absorbed into the definition of national loyalty. By passing resolutions and setting aside a day of remembrance, they are writing his name into the civic calendar, ensuring that his ideology outlives him. And by punishing those who resist, whether through firings, silencing, or threats, they are building a culture where dissent is treated as un-American. This is not confusion. It is by design. It is a plan to take anti-Black rhetoric and make it the standard of patriotism so that when we speak against it, we can be treated as enemies of the state. What this means for Black America. The most troubling truth is that this agenda has government backing at every level. The White House, the House of Representatives, the Senate, governors, and even local municipalities are moving in unison. And this is not only Republicans, Democrats, the party many of our people turn to for defense against racism, also participated in this idolization. This bipartisan unity reveals that the anti-Black project is not limited to one side of the political spectrum. It is a shared effort, one that extends beyond party lines. For Black America, this means we can no longer assume that neutrality will protect us. Even when we do not march, even when we do not support the policies of the left, even when we stand firmly on biblical values, we are still dragged into accusations, still branded as leftists or radicals, still treated as if we are threats to the nation. What is being built right now is a redefinition of patriotism itself. To oppose DEI is now patriotic. To mock Black women is now patriotic. To belittle our schools and erase our history is now patriotic. And to silence us when we object is treated as defending the nation. The warning. My people, we must see this for what it is. The idolization of Charlie Kirk is not about honoring a fallen activist. It is about constructing a government-backed anti-Black agenda. When the president, Congress, governors, and municipalities all move together to sanctify a man whose career was rooted in attacking us, we cannot dismiss it as symbolism. It is a signpost of what is to come. They are creating a myth, a patriotic martyr whose legacy will be used to justify silencing us, stripping away our rights and erasing our protections. This is not speculation. It is unfolding before our eyes. We must treat it as the alarm it is. America is preparing to use Kirk's death as the rallying cry for a campaign that will target us directly. The time is short, the agenda is real, and the government has already chosen its side. And see, this is the thing that we have been telling you and warning from day one, because we could easily see the agenda that we were the targets. And I've been telling y'all that for a long time, that we are the targets. And so now we can see that they're using this as a platform so that they can have the talking points against us, where they can say anybody who's for rights for Black folks, right? DEI, what they call it. Wokeism, when we want our rights and when we claim to be Israelites, right? They're going to use that against us to say we're not patriotic. And guess what? You can have a whole bunch of Black raccoons on their side. And so we already see the increase in persecution. Y'all don't want to acknowledge it, a lot of them. A lot of your Morias and teachers don't want to recognize it. The hanging from trees of these young Black men over the last few years, they don't want, it's suicide. Right away, that's the conclusion when Black folks don't hang themselves. I'm telling you, I guarantee you that. Ain't no Black man hanging himself. And then you had the recent one where the guy was hung from a bridge. I'm like, hey. And then the truckers who disappeared, Black truckers. I'm telling you, our people are in danger. But hey, Everybody want to act like there's nothing to see here. We're not going to have to flee. Look, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just presenting the news. Any comments, Minister Tate?
Yeah, so you won't be able to cite your civil rights anymore, right? This is what's been happening between the Trump's legislation within the past 6 months. All this in 6 months, he's dismantled a large portion of what we call black rights or civil rights that were gained, that was supposed to protect us from the alt-right racists, right? All of that's being dismantled. You won't be able to cry discrimination when you get fired for even if the boss calls you an N-word or something else and then fires you, you won't have cause before the courts anymore. All of that's being dismantled, right? Because the precedence now is for patriotic white supremacy. And your rights that were fought for in the 60s are gone. So now, and you can see that's on purpose. Why? Because the Supreme Court empowered Trump to do it. Anything they say, anything Trump does with the idea of protecting the nation, he's not going to be held criminally for it, no matter how bad it is. So they gave him protection to do whatever he wants. So if he makes a mistake, he's protected. If he becomes a Hitler in America, he's protected, right? But the foundation, what he's been targeting black cities, right? New Orleans, Memphis, DC, right? He's not targeting non-black cities. He's targeting traditional black topics like slavery in the National Museum. And so he's removing anything that shows the brutality that the initial government of this land did to our people. He's wiping it out. He's laying the foundation to where there is no room for us to cry racism or discrimination anymore. And then when they turn the heat up, it's going to get worse. So, for example, the boys in blue can do whatever they want to us anyway. We see that all the time. They go home even if they pew us in the back, whether we unarmed, whether they choke us out. They go home, right? So the policy was already there when it came to the boys in blue, right? They could do whatever they want to us, and we don't have no recourse. But now with this type of legislation, right, it's going to get worse because now we can't use any legal means to cry foul, right? And basically that's what that article is showing you. It's from all branches of government that's giving this guy the thumbs up, which is really giving the thumbs up to Trump's anti-black policies.
And according to what Mel says, that's true. And I believe they're the ones behind all of this, right? Even though we're looking at the conservative right, they all are aligned, right? So I'm going to put this link out there for those who want to come and discuss this. And I ask that you be PC about it, whatever comments you have. Don't get it shut down. Because today is dangerous times, family, dangerous times. And you're going to see a lot of decisions that's going to have to be made. Pretty much what they're going to try to do is push us all onto the street. That's the goal. And they plan on shutting down the passports, as I mentioned in one of my previous shows, to make it difficult to flee. Hey, Brother Eric, how's it going?
Shalom, Brother Eric.
You got to unmute yourself.
Your icon is showing as muted.
Shalom, Brother Yakoba and Brother Taylor. Can you hear me?
Yeah, how's it going, Brother Eric?
Blessings to you, brother. Blessings to both of you. Everything is good. I ain't gonna be long. I'm gonna try to keep my passion down. I know I could get a little rambunctious. So, but just for our peace of mind and safety, we have to be wise. You understand? As a serpent and gentle as a dove. And I don't mean gentle as in passive and just letting these people do whatever they want to do to us. I mean gentle towards each other. Screw these nations and these Edomites and and Psalm 83. And if it come down to it, you know, the 2/3, because the 2/3 is wicked. I hate to say that about my own people, because I desire that none of Israel suffer. I want all of us to make it. We've been through too much to have to deal with any more terror, literally terror. You understand? It's not, I mean, how much can a people take? It ain't just been 400 plus years. We've been dealing with this foolishness for thousands of years, literally thousands of years. We've
At
been
least
in
2,000 minimum.
Yeah, we've been in captivity longer than we've been out of captivity.
Yep.
Can you imagine that? I mean, is Israel a homeborn slave?
Exactly.
I mean, it's crazy when you think about it. We have to be the chosen people to have to deal with this stuff year after year, decade after decade, millennia after millennia. Who else but us? It's just weird when you sit back and think about it. My God, are we that hated? Like, what did we do? You know what we did?
Thank you.
You know what we did? We disrespect our God.
That's it.
That's it.
We was disobedient to our God, and he put his sandal right up our backside for it. After he warned us over and over and over again. You understand? So this is our fault. But the issue is they went too far with their wickedness. They look for all kind of strategies and tactics and devices to outdo themselves in wickedness, to terrorize us. They couldn't just do us wrong. They took pleasure in it.
Exactly.
You understand? We don't serve the same Elohim. We don't serve the same Elohim.
Not at all.
These people is absolutely wicked. I'm going to read 2 scriptures, and then I'm going to let somebody else go. If you don't mind.
Go for it.
Okay, let me, I'm sorry. Let's see, my computer's slow. And if I change off of here, off of my phone, then you ain't going to hear me. So let me just, matter of fact, Jacoba, can you bring up a Bible scripture?
Okay. Tell me what you need.
I have 2 for you. Proverbs 11:21. Can you put that on the screen?
Okay, 11:21.
Yes, Proverbs 11:21.
Any particular version, or does it matter?
The King James version, please, if you don't mind.
Okay.
And Israel, I want you to take heed to what the Most High is saying. Please listen to what the Most High is saying to us. Get out of your feelings. All right? Get out of your feelings. The Most High cares about your feelings, but he ain't going to care about your feelings over his word. Just forget it. He's not going to care about your feelings over his word. Now, I want you to listen to this. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. You understand? The wicked is going to be punished no matter how you feel about it. Isaiah 13:15, if you don't mind, please.
Okay. There you go.
Listen, Israel, listen. Everyone that is found shall be thrust. Oh, I'm sorry. Go to Go to one scripture above that.
Okay, 14.
Yeah, go to 4. Well, I mean, the point is there.
I'll do the whole thing. How about that? Okay. Is that good?
The main point is in verse 15, regardless. But and it shall be the chase row, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. I'm sorry. They shall every man turn to his own people and flee, everyone to his own land. Did you hear what that said? Flee to his own land. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. You think you're doing these people a favor by praying for them and hugging them and holding hands to them? When the Most High sling his blade, guess what? You're getting cut too. He gonna chop off your goddamn head too, because you love them more than you love yourself and him and your own people. You want your blood spilled for these people? Haven't we given enough blood, sweat, and tears over people that constantly show themselves to hate us? When you get a chance, I want you to read Jubilees 37. Family, when you get it, you're going to see just how much Esau hates us, how much Esau hates his brother Jacob and us, to the point where Esau's seed told Esau, if you don't fight against Jacob, if you don't hate Jacob as much as we do, we're going to hurt you. Now, how wicked is his seed? His seed is more wicked than him. Stop loving these people. And if you at least give equal time and love your people as much as you care about them, at least do that. No, you're so quick to hate on each other or speak bad against each other or tear each other down, but you want to give people, and listen, I'm going to tell you, use wisdom. Don't talk about this guy. Don't even put him on your radar. These people are already getting this job. All they doing is putting another nail in their coffin. God is mocking these people. The scripture says they're going to look for Israel's, for Jacob, for Judah's iniquity, and they're not going to find it. They're looking for every excuse to put us in martial law. They done got to the point where they said, the hell with it. If you speak a word against them, we coming after you, because we ain't going out there marching, we ain't voting. They doing everything they can to get us out there so they can freaking put us face down and beat us up and do all kind of wickedness to us, and we're not going for it. We finally waking up. Stay woke. Don't go back to sleep. Don't put yourself in a bad situation. Don't even talk about these people. Use your words for praying for Israel and showing love for each other. Don't even allow these people any kind of satisfaction to cause us any more hurt and pain. We don't give it enough blood, sweat, and tears. We don't need to suffer anymore. All right, that's all I have to say. I love you guys. Keep up the good work. We know it's a dangerous time to do what you guys is doing, which is putting out truth. I mean, literally, if you on the side of righteousness, they looking a freaking... I mean, if we not in the last days, there's no such thing as the last days.
I agree.
They coming for us. And I don't care what they do with all these other nations. That's just like a warm up, so to speak. You understand? You know how you feed a little fish, put a little bait on a fish so you could catch a bigger fish? That's all they doing. They using these other nations to really catch us, and we ain't as I hope and pray, we ain't going for it. So love y'all, bless y'all, keep up the good work. I done talk. I gone.
All right, thanks, Brother Eric. Brother Dorsey, how's it going?
Hey, how you doing?
All right, thanks, Brother Eric.
Shalom, brother.
Can you mute your background.
Shalom, brother.
Can you mute your
Okay.
background?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Man, ain't no 400-year prophecy, man. These airplanes falling out the sky, these fires. Now people going crazy, diseases, new diseases is popping up. Ain't no 400-year prophecy, man.
It's like I say, in this time frame, people's lives are at stake. There's so many people that I know that are, being deleted. I mean, not just from the popo or anything, but from sicknesses, sicknesses and stuff.
It's almost
It's a dangerous time.
undeniable, man.
Yep.
And then you tell people we are the people, and they look at you like you crazy. I just shake my head sometimes. You wanna be, to open them up and start telling them to say his true name and stuff. They just don't want to hear it. They so brainwashed. Just like the brother said, we supposed to love our brothers, but if you unevenly yoke with these people, I can't, I can't stay next to them. And, I got to keep going. That's all I had to say. I just say pray for them, but I believe that the pressure is coming now to the point where they're going to see. They're going to have to break away from these people. They're going to have to learn to stay out their face.
Yeah. Well, what we about to face is unprecedented, right?
Unprecedented.
Yeah.
What? You look through that book. Everyone that he chose, they was set to some type of trial. And then the disciples, their trial was unto death. They left from this life proclaiming the name of the Savior. I mean, you got to be ready to do that. That's all I had to say, and thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Brother Dorsey. Monica? You got to unmute yourself. Monica? You got to unmute yourself. Monica? Going once. You got to unmute twice. Yourself. All right. We'll come back to you. Minister Rick.
I got to unmute myself. Got me? I'm on?
Yeah, you on. Hey, how's it going, Minister?
It's going good, but I always got another tale. Maybe because I'm so old. I've seen this before. I've seen troops and tanks roll down the streets in the hood. I've seen this before. So I'm not shocked, but I'm shocked that we're shocked. These people have always been this way, and we act like, oh, they going up. This is who they are. And we allow people to put with this post-liberals this image that these people are our friend we could work with, and we let some of our children, when we were children of the 60s and 50s, we didn't trust these people. Our children knew what was going on guard. So the scripture talks about perishing for lack of knowledge. You can't go. We have to go like just in the Jim Crow era. You can't be around these people alone. You can't be walking around. You can't be in their spaces. You can't think they're your friend. You cannot do this thing. They're reverting to who they are. And I thank God for the overt racists.
Oh, I agree.
You just said Charlie Chris done converted your whole family to talking about the Exodus. They wasn't thinking about that. But now everybody can see it. So I don't think this. The other thing is we say, oh, well, what about the 400-year? Well, what about the 400 years? We act like we haven't gone through 400 years. What happens after 400 years?
Judgment.
On them.
Yep.
Am I correct? So during the 400 years, they had a license to ill. Because all God promises is, I will not let them make a complete end of you. I'm not going to let them kill you all. I'm going to scatter you around. They can't get you all.
There you go.
You think they can do the same stuff now? No, they can't.
So Minister Rick,
does
that mean they're going to get some of us, though? That's what it means, right?
Well, that's it. The ones that perish for lack of knowledge.
There you go.
That we got to give them the knowledge. Now, low key, I don't want to get your station banned, but for those who know, what was that man's last words? God said he'll bless people that bless Israel, that bless us, and curse people that curse us. What was his last words for the pew pew? So I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just saying.
He was talking about us being in gangs. Basically, we no good.
Bang. That was one. So what I'm saying to you is, I have a problem with y'all when y'all act like the Most High ain't fighting for us. See, he stood down for 400 years. He ain't standing down now. So you need to go back and read some of your own teaching. You know what's going to go off? I really think it's going to go off. And this is Minister Rick.
Wait, hold on. Let me stop you right there. Who are you talking to? Us?
I'm talking to you. Yes, I'm talking to you from the
You
standpoint.
said, let me
complete.
Hold on.
No, let me complete my point.
No.
Let me complete my point. I don't want to criticize you.
You done attacked us.
No, that's not attack. I'm not attacking you.
Did.
No, but let me redeem myself. I want to go back to some of your earlier teaching. I believe this war is going to be alt-right and alt-left primarily. I think that people are going to go against each other as God is in the past has our enemies fighting each other. Now we got to be vigilant, and diligent. See, I'm not, look, I'm an old man. I'm not in this, the attack thing, the whole ops thing. I don't do that.
We got videos on alt-right.
I apologize to you.
We got videos.
I apologize to you.
We got videos on alt-right. Let me comment. We have videos on alt-right and alt-left. We have never doubted what the Most High has said, which is why we continue to teach the scriptures literally. So for you to say we need to go back and study our scriptures, you need to make yourself clear.
Can I just say something? Can I just say something? Please. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, I love you all. I respect you all. But this is the shit I'm talking about. We don't have time to be freaking doing this kind of shit. We don't have time to be criticizing each other for nothing. There is a protocol that we have. We have a disagreement with each other. And it ain't in for the whole fucking public to see. We go behind the scenes. If you have an issue with each other, you do it behind the scenes. Excuse my language, but I'm fucking pissed. And I'm tired of this shit.
Agreed. But thanks.
We don't have time for this.
Look, if it didn't come out in public, we would have left it in the background.
No, I'm saying.
Hold on.
I'm saying we should not be.
Hold on. Let me say something. And I get where you're coming from, Brother Eric, but here's the deal. Obviously, Minister Rick doesn't listen to our teachings, right? He hears the parts about the judgments that's going to happen. And the Bible tells for the watchman to warn the people so that they don't be caught unaware, so that they can take the appropriate actions. We've taught that many times. We also taught that we must through much tribulation into the kingdom. We also taught that the Bible says we are counted as sheep for the slaughter. So to ignore the fact that we are going to deal with some trouble and some trials and tribulation is his misunderstanding of this ministry's teaching, right? So now whether or not you get upset, Eric, about this disagreement, you can't come and misrepresent what we teach at this ministry. Do we believe that the Most High is going to deliver us? We've always taught that, but we've also taught that we're going to enter in trials and tribulation, which is called birth pains. And that's why Israel in Revelation 12 is fleeing for a reason, because she's being attacked. So don't come around here. Don't come around here acting like we never taught that the Most High is going to deliver us, because hold on, let me finish.
I receive your correction.
We've taught that we are going to go into the wilderness. How do you think we're going to get there? By the Most High. So don't come here acting like we fearful. Now go ahead.
I totally agree. I'm not against I'm against us going at each other. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, gentlemen.
Minister Rick, I don't think that was wise.
It wasn't wise. And can I be allowed? Do I get allowed?
Okay, because I want to be but I'm just saying I want to be made understood. But I'm not against Teo. I'm not against understood. You. I'm against Israel going at Israel. I keep telling y'all this forever. Stop fighting each other and stop putting each other on blast. We've done that enough, and the world does that enough for us.
Well, I'm
only
sorry.
Show love for each other. That's it.
I love these gentlemen. I've supported them financially in the past.
You have to love in word and in deed.
Indeed, it's indeed as well. The situation is this: what I was saying. I didn't mean to say that. In fact, you brought up the exact point. I thought that it was getting left the power of the Most High that's going to be protecting us in this time in a way that was different when we were under the 400 years. I thought that was maybe not brought out as much as everything that was coming and the tribulation and trials we were going through. That was my point, that there's a difference now. It's a difference. It's not the same, even though they're trying to do the same stuff. They're doing the people, they're trying to hang, they do things like that. And we need to gather together, but they can't get away with the stuff that they did before as we follow the Most High. And the thing is that what the Most High is allowing them to do is causing us to gather together and all of us to see this and be prepared for the Exodus in a way. So I'm saying there's some good things that are coming from this thing that's waking our people up, causing us to grow together, knowing that, letting everybody know there's no salvation in any other. We have to go, as the teaching from before, follow me or if you want to live. That's the message for us. Follow the Most High.
So we believe and always taught, right, that the Most High is going to take care of those who hold on to him. And that's those of us who trust and believe in the Messiah and hold on to him to get through this. That doesn't mean these events that we are outlining aren't bad, won't be difficult, especially for those who are not woke, right? So that,
well, I was just saying it's an opportunity. If they weren't, that's cold water and a slap in the face to a lot more of those who weren't woke.
Well,
and
that's the
you
reason.
outlined that in your family, and I'm just saying that's a good thing. They needed a shock treatment. You know,
Correct.
when you about to die, you needed a defibrillator to give you a shock, not somebody just patting you and stuff. This is the shock.
Well, that's why we teach the whole
now?
truth, right? We teach the whole truth of what's coming because some people do need to be woken up with a shock. And that's why we don't hold back. So we're not selling fear. We're not even thinking they're going to do us anything because that's in the hands of the Most High. My only concern is when you said we need to go back to our own teachings and listen to ourselves.
Well, that was out of order. I should have said I go back to your teaching on when the alt-right and alt-left and the teachings of the Most High in the Bible. When a lot of times when we were at our most under attack, the Most High would just start our enemies to fight each other. The ones
they are fighting themselves. You're right. They are fighting themselves.
And I see that, and that's what I see happening now. Some of this attack that they are meaning for us, they're going to turn on each other. And if we're wise, and when we get that opportunity, like Lot did, when God make that way for our exit, we got to go. We can't be dilly-dallying. We can't say, oh, let me go to a little small city. We're out of here. The Most High is going to give us an exit visa. And
so the family don't need to, we don't want the family to misunderstand that when we tell them the things that the enemy has planned for us, doesn't mean it's going to manifest.
Okay.
But we're saying, don't get it twisted. This is in their heart.
Oh, yeah, right? That's who they always been. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what we're showing, right? We're not saying that somehow the Most High is not coming for us because he promised to get us out of here. So that's on him. He gonna fulfill his promise and his word because his word don't come back void.
Yeah.
So we don't need to fear, but we need to understand the enemy.
Yeah.
Right. What's on their heart? How do they look at us? What is going on in their mind? Why do they do the things they do? Our people need to understand that, but at the same time, they need to grow stronger in their faith.
And their love of each other. And our love of each other, because we have to pull together. This is a great Babylon detox for us. I'm gonna let it go, gentlemen. Thanks for giving me time to speak on your forum.
Can I just say something? Can I just say something?
Go ahead. Yeah.
I apologize for my passion. I know I can turn up, but for those who say they rebuke me, let the Most High judge between me and thee. You know, sometimes you got to use strong language to get a stiff-necked, rebellious people attention. You understand?
I'm in the family. I'm in the family. Hey, my family. This is how we talk together. So
no. I apologize. I apologize, Minister, because I didn't mean to come at you like that. I'm not for that. But my point I'm trying to make is that has to stop regardless.
That's right.
You might have an opinion, and that's good. You may have a disagreement, but there's a protocol to deal with those disagreements. And
I
it's
agree.
not in public. It's for to cause this kind of fraction. Because immediately everybody gonna choose
somebody
a side.
sees upon that. Yeah.
Exactly. Just like the person that claims they want to rebuke me. Rebuke me for what? For my passion?
I don't rebuke you for anything. If the Most High don't
I
change
wasn't
nothing,
with
not his
somebody
son.
else in the chat.
Right. So look, what we're gonna do is, and we agree. Okay, maybe there was a misunderstanding. So we're gonna move on to Brother Doug. All right, Brother Doug, you got to unmute yourself.
Oh my goodness, have I somehow become the voice of reason? What's going on? The world is going upside down. What happened there? Oh my, you really want me to come in after that? Oh man, I got to be calm now.
And one thing I want to add, if you're not talking, please keep your mic muted, right? Don't unmute until it's your turn. All right.
Okay,
ahead,
well,
Doug.
first and foremost, thank you for allowing me to be a part of the forum. I appreciate it as always. It's an honor to be in the presence of both of you, and I mean that sincerely. Let me shift gears here so we can get away from anything that gets us excited. And I think regarding what we're seeing, the greatest shock to me is going to be how these foundational Black Americans deal with this new development, this turn of the worm. We see plainly that they are moving slowly the sights, the target toward us. And the lionization of Charlie Kirk and his unfortunate demise is the catalyst through which these folks will mechanize whatever they choose to do next. And we are obviously on their minds. Are we not on their minds? We're on their minds. We're on their minds. Our awakening is making them nervous. We're not breaking stride. We're not breaking ranks. We're not slowing down what we're saying. In fact, we're getting louder, getting more pronounced. And they have to do something. They have to do something lest the rest of the world takes note of this awakening in a larger scale. And that, I believe, is what catapults them even faster and further toward whatever end Donald Trump is planning through the use of this Kirk situation. Now, I didn't really follow Charlie Kirk too much before he was unfortunately murdered. But just some of the things that you played on this broadcast, listening to some of the things he says in the face of his being canonized just gave me a headache, Brother Yacoba. I will tell you, I was so glad when you stopped playing him, because the elevation that they're applying to this individuals, I mean, with the flags at half mast, all these different things. Any thinking Hebrew, any thinking Negro in this country that disassociates himself with the system has to be thinking of some sort of exit strategy at this point. It has to be on your mind. When you look at the trajectory of where this country has come from as opposed to where it's heading, you can see it's nearly coming full circle back into Jim Crow, back into the 50s, back in before then, 40s, 30s, 20s. They want permission to do away with us, do with us as they will, whenever they wish, at any time, for any reason. They want full control over Negro lives in this country, and they don't want to do good things to the lives we possess. They've infused our communities with drugs. They've criminalized our being Black. They have given themselves permission to do to us and with us anything they wish. We're finding our children hung in trees. We're finding our children hung off bridges. I think they recently found a child hanging in a classroom. I think that actually occurred sometime today, a young child hanging. And so it is imperative that we think clearly on how to make the way out. I think nearly every day, pray nearly every day on how the Most High will make a way for us to leave this place. And for me, it's the foundational Black Americans that I'm trying to get through at this point. I've spent some time on a few lives with these individuals, and they have They have swallowed the Kool-Aid whole. And it's an impossibility for any one of them not to see what is being developed in this country. And they will not be permitted to make a way here. They're not going to ever leave us alone. Brother Yacoba, I would dare say we could leave all of us collectively, go back to the motherland. And I believe that we would be on their minds to the point of mental fracture. They may try to follow us there. I'm not kidding. I'm telling you
I
that
agree with you.
without us here in this place, they have no target except one another.
Did you
And
see some of the ones moving from the UK to Africa?
I have indeed. And so we may suffer the presence of some of these individuals as being our neighbors in some respect. And how will we get away from them at that point? But here, being here, in my estimation, being here is an impending danger to Negroes, particularly those of us that are fully awake. I put fully woke under my name because I'm at a point of no return. I can't go back to sleep. I can't do it. It's impossible to unlearn, unsee with your help, your spiritual guidance over the last 6, 7, 8 years. Dear God, how long has it been? And I take it a little bit. Sometimes I take it a little bit personal when I come across Negroes that don't see. But I think the numbers are almost shored up now. I think any influx of new Negroes that are awakened will occur at whatever event, this catalyst that is certain to come. Brother, this event, this Kirk murder, is going to lead to something much worse for Negroes. There will be, and I have to say beyond doubt, there will be an erasure of Negroes on a large scale that lights the match that will catapult them forward into whatever martial law, whatever military action. Donald Trump does not like us.
Exactly.
Do you understand that? He does not like us. Charlie Kirk was a near perfect, polished, perfect reflection of what Donald Trump's sentiments toward Negroes is. His death, as you've stated, gives permission for them to make new laws, new moves, and new mandates regarding how you express yourself. And as one who writes and does my own show from time to time, I know I'm in their crosshairs. I unfortunately know you are in their crosshairs. I know that all of us that are public with our opinions and views and observations are in danger. And if you ever notice, we all do it, brothers and sisters. If one of us starts running, we all start running.
Yeah.
If one of us starts running, and let me tell you, I'm prepared to go to ground. I may not be able to leave as quickly and as freely as I wish, but I'm prepared to be very difficult for them to put their hands on. And I will meet force with force if necessary. But
so let me ask you this, Brother Doug.
Yes, go ahead.
Like what we were saying before, there's the warnings, to prepare and to be on guard. Now, one of the issues I have, like some people say we're not going to flee, stuff like that, but yet we see our people hung from trees. We see the popo shooting us in the street, but then people act like we're not going to have to deal with any of that anymore. But we're dealing with it now. See, that's the illogic, that I see here, that you already seeing that it could touch us. The Most High ain't come get us yet. What's your thought of that?
Well, when I hear people talk about the Most High hasn't come get us, listen, when we were told to flee from Egypt, he didn't come down and gather us. We had to pack and go. I don't know if you remember, we had to put effort into this. I trust the Most High to give us the guidance that we need. I trust the Most High to make our path straight, but it's our path to walk. So for those that are waiting for God Almighty Yahuwah to come and somehow take us in his mighty hand and just kind of lift us out of America and gently place us in Africa, in the motherland, stop that. Stop that, because that's not the mechanism through which he has shown us how he moves in the past. He has given us directives. He has told us, prepare, flee if you can. You don't want to take part in what's about to happen to this place. And so I'm not going to simply sit back and say, God, he'll be here, and I don't have to really do anything just except wait. No, if I see an opening like a bullet, I'm going to move toward the opening, and I'm not going to look back. And anybody that doesn't come with me, and I don't care who it is, I mean that. Don't let sentiment take your life, Negroes. Don't do it. If you see a way out and your family and your loved ones are looking at you like they're a foundational Black American ready to make their stake and claim in this country that's about to be just a stain on the landscape of the planet, you leave this place, and let me say it succinctly, leave them behind, because they've made their choice. And all of us have that responsibility, and that is where I will land. Thank you so much for letting me speak. I appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Brother Doug. Timmy?
Yes, good evening. How you doing?
Okay.
Yeah, it's interesting because I was listening to I don't know if you know about Jason Black, but he was going through all the senators who petitioned for what's his name, Charlie Clark. A lot of these Negroes think that the Democrat Party is going to come and save them or whatever. I'm not Democrat, I'm not Republican, but this idol worship of these parties is ridiculous because, he went through these lists of people who supported Charlie Clark, and most of them came from New York and California state. Most of these senators who were supporting him, came out to support him, were from Democratic blue state, like dark blue states. California and New York was overly overwhelmed. Like I would say, most have more than half of the petition. And what I have to say to people, I'm glad you played some of his commentary, because I heard of him, but I never knew who the hell he was. I didn't care. I didn't know he was a racist, but both Negroes and whites, they're trying to paint him as this person who had good high morals. And now we show what he actually, how the way he thinking, how he looks at us. I'm looking at some of these Negroes sideways, because do they know who this man is? There's nothing godly about him. The way you live your life, the way you gotta die. Okay, that's not me being disparaging, but he is not no saint, and he's not somebody who I would even say is you're trying to paint him as a like what you call it, like a protester or a civil rights. They try to give him this weird image of he was a saint and he did all these great things to help people.
Activist.
Crazy. But I want to thank you for playing those commentary, because I only got a gist of some of the stuff he said, because I really didn't want to pay attention. I really wanted to stay out of the situation. But once I saw what he actually was like, I'm like, wow, okay, that's he got it. I'm not gonna say he got exactly what he deserved, but he died the way he preached. So, but I still haven't got email regarding that crypto. So, just wanted to point that out too. But Tazu, you have to. I would say we need to do like a big prayer for all of you, because we are a crazy time, and I feel like the devil is using all his devices to attack us. Mental illness is another thing. I honestly think that's a spiritual warfare, the mental illness thing, because I know it's a lot of Black people are suffering with that particular mental illness, and that's going to be a trip up. We have a lot of emotional males and emotional females who sometimes they go off the deep end and don't even realize how they sound or act. I don't think it's them sometimes. I think it's like the devil attacking, because I see it everywhere. Even in small towns that I am in, it's crazy. So we should have like a time where we have a group prayer, and rebuke whatever demons that may be attacking us as a people, so that way we can fight this fight together.
Okay. All right. Thanks for coming on, Timmy. Appreciate it. All right. New being me.
Yes, hi family. Man, there's just so much. Like, first and foremost, I want to thank you, Teo, Teo Ministry, for for laying down the foundations and things that you've taught throughout the years, and even being like on the ground level for those like T3 and me. You feel me? All the works that you do. My husband also wanted me to big you guys up for the Ethiopian research. He's very happy about that. You know what I mean? He looks forward to linking up with you and talking about that, and especially some other areas that with Saudi, is it Arabia? Well, he knows more about that. He nerds out on that, how you guys be nerding out, and on the scriptures, and some other writings. But big up on everything that you guys have done and laid down the foundation for preparing people. Like one of our rabbis, Lion of Judah Society rabbis, calls the guy Captain Kirk. Okay. Because they trying to steer this thing into like the tagline, you know what I'm saying? Like into beyond the stars. This is beyond belief. Okay. And that's what people don't understand. Amazing actually etymologically means unbelievable. Okay. So they're just going like beyond space. Because why? Like the sister said, they have reprobate minds. Some people call it mental illness, some people call it demon possession, some people call it whatever you call it. It's just a reprobate mind. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we're dealing with, people of that. And unfortunately, some of them, maybe my skin color, but not my kin. You feel me? Some of them, they have taken on this some of our brown people who should know better. But then are they really our brown people? Because you may be my skin folk, but you ain't my kin folk. You feel me? And nothing new under the sun. So this mentality, this Luciferian mentality, a doctrine of, oh, I can do whatever I want, and then when somebody get me, then I can start crying and victimizing. And isn't that Babylon? Isn't that her? That's the way she is, the one who rides the beast, right? Every woman that that's be like that. That'd be like, just make people suffer, and then something go down, and she's like, oh, mommy, you're the biggest harlot witch, cheating on your husband and your boyfriend and your girlfriend. You feel? I'm just saying, it's just that mentality, that reprobate mentality, that have been exposed. And here's the thing: l'homme propose, Dieu dispose. Like God, men will propose. They're gonna do this, that, the third. They playing the same running game that they've been playing since 1490, whoever know, you know what I'm saying? Or since actually, I'm not even gonna say 1490. They playing the same game that they played. I'm talking about American history with their Babylonian baby London mother. You feel me? England. Okay, so let's never forget that these key people are like reprobate minds also from that era. You know what I'm saying? They were poured out, the jail cells and the mental institutions were poured out in America and Australia, especially Australia. At least Australians know that they're crazy. At least they know. These people think they okay, but they're sociopaths. Okay, anyways, I digress. But they're sociopaths that can get people thinking like them, like some, because like their devil, like the devil, their father. He's a deceiver from the beginning. So anyway, and then unfortunately, some of our people are going fall under it too. The thing I want to say is this, like I said, Captain Kirk person, they, like the sister said, they trying to make him some activist all of a sudden. They changing the wording, assassination, like they using words that are like political. This guy wasn't nothing but an influencer. Let's get it straight. Okay, let's just get it straight and stop changing history and making people forget. And that's the thing. That's why they like people to be dumb. That's why they don't support education. That's why they support preservatives in foods and stuff like that. They want people to be zombies. That's the real zombie. I'm from Haiti. Oui, c'est vrai. But the zombies in America is completely not the same zombies that we have in Haiti. Okay. Because that's a whole nother story we got to talk about. A zombie is a slave. These guys, oh my gosh, they're very, there's some very high maintenance zombies, or they think they're privileged zombies. Anyways, that's that. I'm not gonna go that, but they want to make people dumb. Like, for instance, in like another channel, Rastafari Jews, they talked about fascism versus Nazism. America is trying to everything that's happening is nothing new. And you guys know the history. Everything, if we go back to Hitler and Mussolini, they were buddies. Okay, they weren't on the same page. They had the same intention to get rid of all the black and brown people and in the world. That was them. But they didn't really get along. And their movement, fascism, is different from Nazism. And this configuration that they're trying to, but you know the history. Nothing news under the sun. People do not understand that World War II did not start with Hitler. World War II started with Mussolini and fascism and the Italian church wanting to take over what? The Ethiopian country and the church and all that. Most people don't even understand that Protestantism started because Martin Luther went and had a conversation with a Abuna in Italy or in Germany somewhere. So it all goes back to Ethiopia. It all goes back to us in the beginning. They are obsessed with us. But anyways, I digress. I'm just saying they just want people to be super stupid and fall for the okie doke. And they are falling for the okie doke. And the Titans are going to fight each other. And if we're just smart enough, we just need to listen to ones like yourself and other people and gather the information and be wise and listen to the Holy Spirit and pray every day and read our scriptures and try to talk to our children. And like the brother said, if some of our family members don't get it, don't want to get it, then we getting out of here. And no, you ain't getting my address. But and also the kingdom suffers violence and the violent take it by force. So just like, I don't know, you can flip that, but people like Brother Eric and the other brethren who talked earlier, the other brother, Wide Awake, yeah, man. Test me, okay? What I stand? I'm gonna burn this thing down. You don't let me go. You gonna let me go.
All right. Thank you, Newbie and me. Appreciate it.
Praise Jah. Yeshua HaMashiach. Yahweh.
All right. Wide Awake.
Yes, sir.
Hey, are we doing all right? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you sound good. How's it going?
It's going great. I want to thank y'all for the opportunity to speak. And going off of what Miss Newbie and me said, it's really a psyop. And I really don't think people are understanding that. Literally, if we go back to the Charlie Kirk situation, if that's the topic of the conversation, let's start there and say that it's them versus them. But them versus them will always bleed onto us. That's the reason why we're starting to see our young men hung on campuses, on college campuses. Like, we really have to understand that the psyop will always be about us. It doesn't even matter. I mean, this could be a whole new 9/11 with this assassination, right? That's the way they're going to landmark it,
Oh, yeah.
right? But it's going to come back on us. And what we fail to realize is that the Most High is telling us to flee or indulge in the judgment. It's really simple, you know, and it's not about fear. It's not about fear. It's not about teaching fear or preaching fear. It's about being aware, alert, conscious, right? Conscious, Christ consciousness is spirituality, right? And Christ, their Christ could be Jesus, but the real Christ is Yeshua. And at the end of the day, if you do not take upon his name and make his real name power, then as far as I'm concerned, Jesus is Satan. Because my name is going to be Chauncey no matter where I go in the world or why the but the name of Yahshua is to be held within precedence. You have to hold the name up. Charlie Kirk is only a small example of how they can turn a nation against itself. It's like Israel versus Judah all over again. The saddest thing is it's Babylon. It's the new Babylon. So we cannot allow ourselves to fall into their turmoil. It's simple as that. It's really as simple as that. We are on a mission to come together, to understand, and to come back to our covenant. Whether it's the new or the old, that's not my argument right now. I'll live with the old covenant and I'll live with the new covenant as long as the Most High said that's the covenant. You understand me? And we cannot be distracted. We cannot live within their expectations because I've always been taught, and this is the thing, I came out of the Pentecostal church, possible for the Most High. So if it's not, and I'm built in his image, it's not impossible. Always been taught that if the Most High says I'm capable, then guess what? Capable. It's as simple as that for me. Charlie Kirk is nothing more than my nephew that got murdered a couple years ago. Charlie Kirk is nothing more than Sandra Bland. Charlie Kirk is nothing more than Michael Brown. Charlie Kirk is nothing more than gun violence in America. And see, what they do is they use gun violence to tip our beliefs. They want to feather our faith, right? Because they are the ones who said we have the right to bear arms. See, if we didn't bear arms, we wouldn't have none of these problems. If we bared love, we'd have salvation. If we bared love, we'd have understanding. We'd have empathy for one another. We would treat thy brother like thyself. You understand me? So a lot of this stuff that's going on around the Charlie Kirk conversation is really nonsense to me. Because what they're doing is they're showing us that no matter what happens, it could be white on white crime, it could be the vice president shooting Donald Trump, and we would be the ones to blame. It would be us because we're here. We're here in their utopia, led by the Pews or the Jews, or excuse me, I shouldn't have said it, but I said it. Uh, their utopia is led by white folks, and our utopia is led by the Most High, Yah. And when it's time to go, it's time to go. There should no longer be a debate about when we're leaving. There should no longer be a debate about where we're going. The debate should be, has the Most High called us to get out of here? Because it sounds like he has. It sounds like the United States government has told us. It sounds like our state governments have told us. It sounds like our constituents have told us. We don't want you here. I would rather argue right, than to argue with you all. And that's what we fail to understand is no matter where we stand in the American world or the American history or the new Babylon state of mind, if you embrace it, you are that. You are that. And if you don't embrace it, then my question is, what is taking us so long to come together to get out of here? Because the bottom line is simple. They don't want us here. In the last 12 months, now keep in mind, Trump only been in office for about 9 months, not even 9 months. But in the last 12 months, we've seen the highest population of people go unemployed be our people. I don't care if they're Haitian. I don't care if they're from Barbados or the Caribbean or Haiti. If they look like us, they are us because we were spread across the globe. And then we really need to stop, really stop and look in the mirror because the first people we want to hold accountable is ourselves. No, no, that's not cool. We're going to hold the Hamites accountable. We're going to hold the Edomites accountable. We're going to hold the Canaanites accountable. We're going to hold them all accountable. And then we're going to take care of one another in Yahshua's name, right? Because the only way we get to hear the voice of the Most High is through His Son. The only way we get our forgiveness, that's the only way we're going to get it. That's the only way we're going to get it. So we have to stop with the pity pats. We have to stop with the I told you, I got it right type of rhetoric. We have to get rid of that. And we have to get back to what the Most High is telling us. It doesn't matter what we said, even if we're regurgitating what the Most High said. It's His word. And our job is to abide. Our
That's it.
job is to get in line. Our job, you know, the funny thing about that, the funny thing about it all is that the Most High says you are accountable for your soul. You preach my word. What did the colonizers do? They went out and they preached the word. They preached the word in neglect, in murder, in rape, in ideology. That's what the colonizer went out and done. So we can't be sitting here saying, well, I told you. We can't do those things anymore. We have to take accountability. We have to take accountability. And then we have to ride. We have to
So,
ride through the
Brother Wide
waves.
Awake, can you
That's it.
land plane? Because a brother got to eat. I ain't even eat yet. So if we could.
I heard you, brother. So I'm a land the plane, but I'm just gonna
Okay.
tell everybody that it's our responsibility to to come to bring the nation to the Most High. It's our responsibility to gather. It's our responsibility. We can't be pushing away by rhetoric. We can't be pushing people away by rhetoric. And I wanted to get that out there. I love you guys. I've been following you guys since about 2018. Teo and Yakoba, I love you guys. Um, the ministry is strong, no matter what your battles are, no matter what your internal battles are. The struggle is felt, and the congregation is here. We're going to ride with you, brothers. And I just want everybody to know that whatever Charlie Kirk is doing ain't got nothing to do with us. It ain't
There
got
you
nothing
go.
to do with us. Nothing.
All right.
We need to get back to the Most High, get away from these people, get away from their rhetoric, get away from their propaganda, their media. Get away from it, guys.
I agree.
Stay away from it.
All
And
right.
that's
Thank you,
all I
Wide
got to
Awake.
say, brother.
Appreciate it.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So we're going to get final comments. Brother Eric, you first.
All right, shalom to your brother Yakoba and brother Tell you, I just want to say I apologize and didn't mean no disrespect. You guys should know me by now. I got nothing but love for you,
I,
but I
I
don't
don't
want
have a problem with you,
to
brother Eric.
disrespect.
You know me, I'm passionate as well, so I get it.
Yeah, and to brother Minister Rick, we've been on panels before, so I got love for you. It's just I'm an attack dog when it comes to anybody attacking Israel. That's always been me, but I didn't mean no disrespect. And bless ups to everybody that had my back in the panel. I was reading the comments. Blessings to the panel. Blessings, brother Doug. So all I want to say is, there was a time we had so much love for each other. It didn't matter what went on. When the children of Israel disrespected the Most High, he opened up the ground and swallowed them down. The congregation went to Moses and said, Moses, you killed the children of Israel. Moses didn't do anything wrong. It wasn't his fault. But that's the level of love that we have for each other. And that's the level of love that we have to get back to. You weren't about me using strong language. When they hanging our brothers from trees, I think that should be more your concern, not the strong language I'm using. Because I don't mean nothing personal towards anybody. So personal attacks, yeah, we got this saying in Brooklyn, whatever. You understand? That
And,
stuff
and
like that.
here's the thing what they don't understand, brother Eric. When you have deep love for your people, right, you get emotional because you care. If brother Eric didn't
Right.
care, he would not be getting emotional, right? That's love. That's what's coming out.
Exactly.
It's the frustration.
Straight up frustration, because I just want us to take care of each other and support each other. The other nations don't give 2 cents whether we live or die, literally.
Exactly.
So we
Exactly.
have to love each other beyond their foolishness and just don't even pay them no mind. Pay more attention of us loving each other and supporting each other. Forget these other nations. They are under judgment. Let the Most High do their thing. Just stay out of the Most High way and stay away from these heathens. Bless up to you, brothers. Keep up the good work.
All right, thanks, brother Eric. All right, so on the final comments, we're gonna keep it short, all right? So because the brother be hungry. Minister Ray.
Okay, no offense taken. What offends the Most High is lukewarm. Y'all are passionate, and I expect you to be you, and you care about our people. I should have been more explained better. I just want us to observe a few things. We know what it is, what God does when the people are under judgment. These people are under judgment, and I look at parallels in history. I'm gonna be very briefly here. I'm looking at Belteshazzar, talking about the last ruler in Babylon, talking about taking stuff out, the Hebrew articles out the museum. Let's just take them out the museum, stuff like that. The Most High put the handwritings on the wall and he was gone. And the people he was fighting at that time was the Medes and the Persians, which is Iran, basically. And they were done. I suggest to you that this regime does not have to be in power when we make the Exodus. God can do regime change. So these people are crossing some lines with the Most High. So we get the opportunity. But again, they do not have to be in power when we go. But love to the family, no offense taken. Look out for our people. In ending, there was an old telephone commercial. Do you hear me now? Do you hear me now? We in this community have a great opportunity to revisit our people. Do you hear me now? And they're listening. So reach our people with all this information. We still got to let people know, and it's going to be more ready. So you go on farther. You are farther on than when you were at the beginning. And thank you for your ministry again. I took no offense, and I meant no offense for your ministry. Much love for both you brothers.
All right, thanks, Mr. Rick. All right, Timmy, let's keep it short. Final comment.
All right. Yes. Thank you and God bless you guys. One thing you need to understand: the reason why they trying to push this thing with the clerk situation is they losing the power, and they are very very threatened. They are reacting exactly how the way they react when they get threatened, right? So they didn't expect that people would react the way that he act when he died. They expected everybody, particularly with Gen X and um, the younger generation, to put him on a pedestal. But what they learning is a lot of people, um, they're not stupid. They see him as the way he is, and he was a reflection of what Trump, except a more polished version. And so that probably hit them the most, and that's why they are making all these regulations and doing all these things. And I'm expecting them to even get even more extreme because they not only are threatened and offended, but they are going to try to punish people if they feel as if they say anything negative regarding Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk is the symbolism of white supremacy, and what they're going to do now is they're going to use him as the image of white supremacy. And anybody, and I want people to pay attention. You know, these white liberals are crazy, so they feel like they untouchable. Watch what they do to those white liberals, and keep that in mind, because whatever they do to their own, they're gonna do much worse to us.
For
Don't be
real.
the idiot. Do not be the idiot to follow those white liberals. Let those white liberals make them get themselves in. It's gonna get crazy. Let them do what they do. Let them cause harm to their own selves. Don't be the idiot that get online and start saying stuff. It's not we as people, we don't ever put people down when we see people die. We don't. That's something that they do. And that's not something that I would wish like to make somebody a single mother. I believe the wife is very, very fairly young.
Okay, Timmy. Let's land the plane.
Yes, and so just stay out of their hairs and defend yourself. I have a weapon. I have a gun. Everybody, get your gun. If you have to defend yourself to the end, defend yourself. You know, um, Clerk wife called for war. She. If you listen to her last interview, um, she said her cries are battle cries. That was the red flag. So everybody prepare.
All right. Thank you for coming on, Timmy. Appreciate it. You being me. Final comments.
Yes, just stay prayed up and prepared. Stay in our books and understand that, this is the 5 brides, the other foolish ones. Because, the other foolish ones, they went to go buy the oil somewhere. But you got to keep our lamps lit, and the bridegroom cometh. He's here. And, I don't know if anybody saw that whole after Captain Kirk passed, after he got, whatever, by his own people. That's it. And on top of it, because they can't even spin it. They were trying to put a Spanish name behind it. Oh, no. But anyway, did y'all see the picture of him embracing white Jesus? So they're trying to also make him a saint or something.
Oh, really?
Oh my good. It's the most hilarious picture. Like a day afterwards, they have them all hugging up on white Jesus. I'm like, that is not what he's going through right now, people. So sorry. And if you read the book of, I think it's Esdras, the second book, they tell you what happens when you die. You know what I'm saying? Especially for these reprobate minds. But anyway, keep up staying prepped up and prayed up, and know that yes, one way or another, the Most High is going to take care of us. We have to be proactive, like the brother says. Keep your eyes open, make these connections. Africa is partnering, pivoting and partnering, but not partnering with the wrong people. And that whole foundational black movement, we are foundational blacks, whether you're we're on the continent of America, so whether if you're in the South America, the Caribbean, this, that, the third. So that's a whole nother, just try to separate us and keep us, the house Negroes and the plantation Negro mentality. Always, it's the same game that they play, but we just have to be also introspective and be ready and look at our hearts. Nothing new
All
under
right. Thank you, New Being Me. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Wide Awake. Final comments. Please keep it short.
Final comments, brother. That shall have no other graven images. I want everybody to be peaceful. I want everybody to be loving. I appreciate Jacoba and tell you for teaching me throughout the years. But the biggest thing I want everybody to know is that you are not their subject. The only subject or the only person you are to serve, the only being you are to serve is your creator, the Most High. Religion has put you all in a structure mentally and spiritually. And I ask you all, break out of it, learn skills, hunt, fish, hike, track, just learn something. The Most High is going to need your skills and your intelligence for the second Exodus. And I wish you all the best. I love you all, and I want you all to know that the Most High loves us. Please stand strong, stand for.
All
Thank you,
right. Thank you,
brothers.
Wide Awake. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming on. Minister Tay. So I want y'all to understand that Minister Yacoba and I, and probably more so Minister Yacoba, we're sensitive to the events that are going on, right? So to some of you all, it's politics as usual. Some of you all understand that the threats that they're making is unprecedented. Some of y'all see that. But for us, studying the prophecies, it all starts to come together like a puzzle, right? So there are things that start to make sense to us that some of y'all not seeing. And so we want to warn you, right? Now, as the scripture say, look up because your redemption draweth nigh. Keep that in mind. But you have to also understand that battle that started when Satan fell never ended. And so what we're experiencing is the trickles from that battle that's happening in the heavenly realm, and right, and it's coming down, and it's affecting those of us who live on the planet. So now, because the prophecies have to be fulfilled, the demons that are in Esau, right? Because who is Esau? Esau fulfills the prophecies, right? That's how you identify Esau, right? You identify Esau based on the prophecies about Esau. You identify Israel based on the curses prophesied about Esau. And I'm sorry, the curses prophesied on Israel. That's how you identify Israel, by the curses that have been prophesied about Israel. You identify Esau by the prophecies of wealth and living by the sword, right? And ruling the earth in the last days. That's how you identify Esau. Whether you believe he's black or white, scripture says that Esau will be the end of the world and Jacob would be that which follows. Scripture says that Esau will live off the fat of the land, but he would live by the sword, and the Most High will take it from him. And he said, I'll take it and build it back up. And that's what they do. Esau lives in the heavens, right? That's why they have space stations. Only Esau put those space stations up there, right? So the prophecies tell you who Esau is, regardless of what he looks like today. And so if you understand that, and you will understand the response that they give toward our people when we're not even thinking about them. How many of us think about them on a daily basis, or are we trying to live and enjoy ourselves and our family? We're not worried about them until they what? Come and touch us, come and bother us. We're not even thinking about them. We live rent-free in their mind 24/7. So you have to take what they're doing and saying with urgency, right? But you have to keep in mind that the Most High has a promise to deliver us, and that's what we hold him to, because his word will not come back void. His words have always come to pass. Back in the day when Israel was prophesied to be scattered to the four corners of the earth, I wouldn't be surprised some of them Israelites say that ain't gonna never happen. I wouldn't be surprised, because they couldn't imagine how we're going to be scattered to every corner of the earth at that time, right? Given their position in society and the technology that existed. They're like, well, how that's going to happen?
How we gonna get to every corner of the earth, but we ended up there? So just like he prophesied that we were going to be scattered to the four corners of the earth as slaves, he's coming to get us because he prophesied he's coming to get us. Not only did he prophesy that he's coming to get us, he prophesied that he's going to make us the head and not the tail, that our enemies are going to bow before our feet. Now, Gentiles don't like that part, but scripture is scripture. It promises that. They are the very ones that tell us his word don't come back void. We should believe every word that comes from the throne. But then when that promises to us, all of a sudden, oh, we Israel too. Get out of here with that. But anyway, that's it, Minister Yacoba.
All right. So I would say this. A lot of the warnings that we have given over the years, those who've been with this ministry can see it coming to pass. And for those to say we're not going to flee, that means you're calling the scriptures untrue. Right? You're being disobedient when the Bible says we're going to flee. I didn't make it up. It's scripture. It talks about those who are in Babylon, the Israelites who are in Babylon, who have to deal with all of this. I mean, how many times the Bible got to tell you we're going into the wilderness, right? Being chased by the dragon, and we're going to flee into the wilderness. How many times we got to go to Jeremiah 50:51 and to tell you we're going to flee into the wilderness? How many times we got to go to Revelation 18 and we're going to flee into the wilderness? Babylon going to be destroyed. Come out of her, my people. I'm just saying, I didn't make it up. But then that makes you wonder, for those who tell you we're not going to flee, do they believe the scriptures? Because apparently you're greater than the Most High, because you're overriding his word. And he exalts his word above his name. So who are you to say we're not going to flee when the Bible clearly says we are? And so this is why, we got to do the work while it's day, because night cometh when no man can work. And a lot of people are about to see their maker. And so like Minister tell you, we talk about stuff all the time. And, we can only really talk to one another. And, I'm with you on that, Sheriff. I got you. I understand what you're saying. And yep, some people say that. But anyway, I digress. But you got to understand, family. These are unprecedented times. And the things that we see, a lot of you all still may not see. And a lot of you all do see. I think Brother Eric sees it because that's why he's so passionate, right? He understands what's happening. We are in danger, and that's what we're trying to get you all to understand, that we are in danger. Now, we do believe the Most High is going to deliver us because his word says he is. But as we've always said, it doesn't mean for the individual that you're going to make it, right? You know how many people, because I just found out today, one of my cousins, he has cancer, right? And I'm like, okay, it's like, how many people today have cancer? How many people are not making it? You know what I'm saying? You don't hear it because it may not directly be your family, but I guarantee you, the last 2 years or 3 years, everybody done been touched by somebody who ain't here no more, right? And so that's what I'm saying. That's one of the other ways that we're being removed from this planet. Right, it ain't necessarily just the military, the National Guards on the street, right? It's the little lollipop that everybody ate, and so it's by the Most High's grace that we're gonna make it out, right? Because he promised he gonna get us a remnant out, right? It's a remnant. Now, who's that remnant? Well, it's the righteous. But does that mean every single one? Because we see people under the altar, right, saying, Most High, when you gonna give vengeance for us? See, that's what people don't understand, right? There's a balance and nuances to the scriptures, and then they want to act like I'm creating fear. I'm like, no, discern the times. Discern the times. The Most High says, hey, the servant ain't greater than his master. If they persecuted me, they're going to persecute you. But y'all won't act like you ain't going to be persecuted. Though you see the dragon roaring and raising his head and about to breathe fire on your tail, right? But you going to act like it don't exist. You got National Guard being positioned in black cities. But hey, nothing to see here. Don't be concerned because God going to get us out. I'm not saying God not going to get us out as a nation. But what about you? It's grace and mercy. Obviously, there's some people under the throne who didn't get out. I'm just saying, you got to ask yourself these questions. You got to look at all of the scriptures. You got to balance things out. And that's what we do. We don't go with just the overly bearing negative side or the overly bearing positive side, which is what people do, right? Some people got to be overly positive. Some people overly negative, right? But we're balanced. And that's what we're trying to get y'all to understand. Don't walk around here without your head on the swivel. Don't walk around here without taking precautions, like getting that app I told you, or carrying your pew. But if you carry your pew, be careful, because some of the major ones who deleting us have a badge, right? So you got to use wisdom there too. I'm trying to get y'all to understand, you can't walk like it was 20 years ago, right? Where you had more protection than the Constitution was there. The Constitution's gone. Minister, tell you, do you agree? The Constitution is gone.
Absolutely, it's gone. I mean, we can see. I mean, they gave Trump all power, right? Like I mentioned, the highest court in the land gave him all the power he needs to dismantle the Constitution, just based on his interpretation or his nuanced understanding, right? The law is only based on the interpretation of those in power. Well, it don't mean this to me, so this is how we're going to apply it. Does the Constitution still exist on paper? Yeah. Is it interpreted the way it used to be? No. Now they can do what they want.
So this is the reality of our situation. So we got to move with wisdom, and we got to love one another, right? As Brother Eric said, we all we got. That see, Brother Eric, he passionate. I'm passionate. I'm passionate as well, right? And we get it, right? We all we got. We got to love one another, and we got to help each other. And those with the means and the wealth, y'all better start helping out the family, right? Because a lot of people gonna be unemployed. If you got the money to be able to help those who are in need, you need to do it, right? And here's the thing, I'm gonna tell you this. I would say, just my opinion, like I always say, by the time 2026 comes, there are gonna be a lot of people on the streets. There are gonna be a lot of people unemployed. And they're gonna try to come up with the universal basic income.
But Minister,
because yeah,
isn't it illegal to be homeless?
There you go. So they're gonna put them in detention facilities.
That's where they want to put you.
So you got to understand, they're gonna call you a criminal, just like they did to our ancestors with the vagrancy laws, right? You ain't had no job, you standing on the street, you go to jail. They're trying to do it again. I'm like, y'all can't see this. You know what I'm saying? At least this is the plan. I'm not saying they're gonna be successful, right? And Timmy, go to that website. That's Brother Fast Nickel. Go to that website and you can reach Brother Fast Nickel. All right. But understand this, fam. You know, we can't be fearful, right? Because guess what? Fear doesn't accomplish anything. It makes you weak, right? And fear removes trust from the Most High. And He's our only help. He's an ever-present help in a time of need, right? So, like, one thing you can't say about this ministry is that we're fearful. We don't care. Either one way, we're going to go be with the Most High. We're either going to go into the land and we're going to be living in the promised land, or we're going to end up living right before Yahuwah, face to face. Either way it go, we good. We understand there's no other options. We don't have no other options. You can't keep your head down and this thing gonna pass over you. No, you can't ignore it and it goes away. No,
don't be that guy that's say I'm not looking eye to eye with the bully, so the bully gonna walk right past me. No, you the one he gonna come to.
Oh yeah,
you looking away from the bully, not gonna prevent the bully from coming to get your attention and say, "Give me your milk money."
They always come for the weak person.
They always
first.
come for the weak one. So don't be weak.
Y'all ever notice that even, them folks, the po-pos and the PPs and the pew-pews and all, those folks, that they always got to be in groups against one black Hebrew? You ever know that? Because one Hebrew could take out 10. Y'all know it for the most part. Not everybody, but, we ain't easy to deal with. They never come against us without 10 people, or at least close to it, right? Every time they pull them on the side of the road, there's like 10 of them, right? Understand this, right?
You brought something to mind. I'm not to cut you off. Yeah. I don't know if y'all remember this video. It was on YouTube years ago, and there was like 6 cops around this one brother, and they were trying to tase him, and they would tase him, and he would grab them and throw them down, and he kept throwing them all down, and the tasing wouldn't work. And I was like, if he wanted to really destroy them, he could. Now, they didn't pull out their, pew-pew, so, but I mean, the brother was powerful. He was strong. And you could tell the popo was a bit scared, even though it was like 6-on-1. I don't know if y'all remember that one, but that was something else.
Oh yeah, we ain't nothing. I just like we always sports, right, and everything else. We excel, right, fighting everything. They know this. That's why they come with so many. But understand this, right? Now we're a target specifically. All of us. It's not just one-offs anymore, right? It's not just the guy who's in the wrong place at the wrong time. They're after all of us, right? Because if you look at, as we showed today, all of the branches of government is against us. I hope you understand that. Oh, well, you're overproducing fear. Like I said, go look at the research, go look at the videos, go look at the policies being passed. They're against all of us now. It's not one-offs. So keep your head on the swivel. Put that app on. If you're going somewhere dangerous, you might want to carry something. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. You got to seek the Most High on it, because he's your only protection, really, because the pew-pew ain't going to protect you either, right? Because they always come in groups, right? So that's all we got. Yeah, go ahead, Mr.
I wish the app had a rally signal too, right? Like if you could send us your location to Israelite.
I think it does. I think the parachute one tells all your contacts where you are. I think it does.
That's cool.
That's only iPhone, I think.
Kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
And everyone can say, "Oh, I'm going to see if I can help my brother out. I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to check this out," right?
Yeah, I think so. Check it out, family. Just go to the post for the channel and you can see, that list that I gave you. I think it only has an iPhone, but maybe they're working on the Android one. So that's all I got, fam. We in some interesting times, but you can't be fearful. You got to walk in faith, and the bottom line is just my opinion. It can't be avoided, right? Because we in them times, right? The devil is coming for us.
Minister Yacoba, I'm not trying to move the topic. I know you got to eat, but I just saw Doug say that all flights have been grounded worldwide.
European airports attacked by cyber attack.
Okay. I was just like, okay, did we declare war and I didn't hear it? Okay. All right. Shalom.
All right. So Timmy, look, do this. Send me an email and I'll forward to you Brother Fast Nichols' website. And you can, you know what? Even better. Send me an email and I'll forward your email to Brother Fast Nickel. And then that way there won't be any confusion. So all right, fam, that's all we got. If y'all want to support us, you can by becoming a patron. You can also give Cash App, $TOTW7101. You can also go to tailministries.com and click on the donations tab. There's other options there as well. Family, look, we love y'all. We're looking forward to miracles. I do believe that the Most High is going to be seen upon us, that same glory and that they saw on the Messiah and on the Mount of Transfiguration, the same glory that they saw on Moses, the same glory they saw on Noah is what they're going to see on us. And I think that's what's going to change their minds about what they do. So they don't have more time. They think they do, right? But they don't understand. It's over, right? It's for them. It is. So love y'all with the love of the Messiah. Peace and blessings, Israel. Your captivity is ending. Well, family, the wait is over. The moment has arrived where truth emerges triumphant from the shadows of history. Introducing the true Jerusalem, the lost kingdoms of the Israelites, the groundbreaking work by me, Yacoba Vale, a journey into the past that reshapes the future. I cut through centuries of misconceptions with piercing clarity. This book delivers a compelling case packed with evidence that commands attention and gonna get some respect. Come with me for a second, family, and discover how these thrilling civilizations flourished, protected by towering highlands and sustained by advanced engineering. Some have asked, where is Jerusalem? Is it the land in the Middle East? I say no. It is in the highlands of Ethiopia.
With hours of groundbreaking research, this book brings in a new revelation, and it will transform your understanding of African history and its connections to the ancient world. It's going to remove from your mind the conditioning by the Romans of what has really happened to our past. Come with me, family, to the Ethiopian highlands and find out why this is our land, why things have been hidden and obfuscated for centuries. We are royalty, children of the Most High. What kind of land do you expect us to have? Dried up dirt in the Middle East, or land flowing with rivers? A land full of beautiful animals flowing with milk and honey. Don't miss out on this monumental unveiling. Grab your copy today and stand on the side of truth. Visit Amazon.com or www.tailministries.com to purchase your book and join Jacoby Vale's teachings on Tail Ministries. Family, your journey to hidden history has now begun. So family, get your copy of True Jerusalem, The Lost Kingdoms of the Israelites today. Journey to the heart of Africa, where history and legend converge to reveal the forgotten kingdoms of the Israelites and the true location of Jerusalem.